everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie, back with you with another beautiful project. So I have created this journal. It is using kits from Carolyn Musings. It is her Quiet Garden in My Heart kit, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I had to make something with it. So I am going to show you some things that I've made in this. I did make this into a rounded spine, and I'm going to show you a flip through at the very end. So come along with me and let's have some fun creating some ephemera to go inside this journal. Okay, so here I'm showing you a tag that I created, and I added an eyelet, I added some ephemera on it, and added some ribbon to the top and made it a pocket. So I'm going to do another tag here for you, and I'm just going to punch a hole here for an eyelet. You can use any color eyelet, whatever it is that you want. And I'm just going to do some decorating to show you how I made the other tag. So after adding the eyelet, then I'm going to go ahead and add some lace. So I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix to put the lace on here, and then I'll trim it after it's dry. So then I have taken this little envelope from Carolyn's kit, and I'm going to glue it shut and add it onto the tag just like I did on this other one. And so I'm just going to close it up. So I'm just going to glue it shut here. And then once I glue it shut, I'm just going to add it to the tag. And then I'll finish doing the decorating on the tag with the other pieces, creating the pocket and adding the tag inside the pocket and adding some ephemera, butterfly, and then eventually some ribbon at the top of the actual tag. So here I'm just going to punch the little hole that's in this small tag, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of ink to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this piece of ephemera that's going to go inside the tag. Because I'm doing a voiceover, I was reading it there, but unfortunately the sound on this particular part of my video just kind of wasn't really there very well. But I am just reading to you what's on the front of both of those, the label and the tag. And then I have a couple of pieces of the words that I'm adding to it. And when I show you the flip through, then you will see all of those things that I did put on this particular tag. Okay, I want to do a few more things. So I have some embellishments here, and I'll show you what I've done with some of them, and then I'll show you how to do one. But this one's super simple. So this is just an envelope here that comes in a kit, like this. And I decided I wanted to add a magnet, and then I want to add this butterfly on here. So it'll be super, super simple. So I want to add a magnet underneath this part, and then that will match up to a magnet here. So let me just get a little bit of glue. And then I'll add a little bit of double-sided tape over the top, like that. So that will be okay for in there. And then we'll put our magnet here, and let me add a little glue. I'm just going to let that sit there and dry for a bit. Now I can go ahead and add this on, and then after a while what I'll do is I will add on some double-sided tape as well, and then I can use just a scrap piece and cover that magnet up. So we'll just tuck this on here. Now this is a button that I put on the butterfly, and then I added some gold flat back beads in gold. So that's what I used. Okay, so that is this one. Very simple to do. Now I have done a couple of window style pockets. So this one I did, added a sticker here, and I used a larger circle for this particular one, so I had this opening here, so it was really narrow. So I added some of this trim on here. So I think that looked pretty good. Added a flower. So what I've done on this one is the same thing. Oh, and I also added glossy accents. So the snail shell has a little shimmer. And then this one, I added some glossy accents to it, and I want to put this on here. And then I want to add this flower. So super simple, just gluing these on top. And I want the wings to stick up, but I want to make sure the antennae are down. So let's just center it right about there. I'm going to use my tweezers and carefully put down the antenna and press the rest of this down. So the wings will still be able to come up once it's dry. And then I'm just going to add this little flower. And for that, I'm going to use my Fabrifix or Fabri-Tac, whatever you've got. And I'm just going to add this right here onto the corner. I'm adding quite a bit of glue because this is a ribbon. It's pretty thick. But I'm hoping I have enough room in my journal, and I like them to be a little chunky sometimes. So that's this one. And then just like the other one, I have this one ready to go as well. So I used a smaller circle this time. So I'm just going to add a piece of acetate, and I don't need it very big. So let's trim this down. That should be about right. So we'll glue this on the back side. I just wanted to give some ideas of things you can do with the embellishments. And get creative with them. I got a little close to the center there, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the acetate on. And then I have these words, faith in bloom. And then we'll add the butterfly here and a little flower there. But first, let's go ahead and fold over all of the pocket flaps and burnish those down. And you can use your scoreboard. Typically for these, I don't. Now with the circle here, you're going to see through the pocket. So what I did on the others was I just trimmed it down and cut it around. So that's what I did on that one and this one too. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to trim it down, and then that way, if I do it small enough, hopefully I don't have to, yeah. So now it's not going to peek through. And it's okay, because when you glue it down, you're still going to have your pocket. So let me ink the edges here that I haven't done yet. And I'm just using the vintage photo. Then we'll glue down our pieces. So butterfly, I don't think I need to worry about his antennae this time. The circle is a lot smaller, and I want to angle him. So I'm going to put him right there. And then we'll add the words, faith in bloom. And then when I do the final flip through, you'll see where I have put all of these pockets. And let's put the bloom down here and then in the center. And I just cut this apart. It is one strip in Carolyn's kit. Just like that. And then, whoops, let's get the Fabrifix. And let's put the flower on. Right about there. I was given these ribbon flowers from a friend of ours. And just went perfect in here. So I'm going to just set these aside and let these dry. And then real quick, this is a pretty simple one, but I have a little decorated bug that I want to put on here. So this is just a very simple pocket. We're just going to glue 3 sides. I've already inked this up. Just a thin line of glue on the 3 sides. And then attach it to the back piece like that. And then this card will go inside when it's dry. So like that. And then I have this little bug. And I added these gold half back, flat back key beads on it. I tried using some of the foil, and I just wasn't having too much luck with it on this tiny piece, so I thought this would look better. So we got that. Okay, so we'll put that aside. And then I want to show how to make this. So this is one of the side pockets of Carolyn's, and I have cut out 3 circles, and then I have added acetate, and then I have the bugs actually on the back side. So this time I'm going to add the acetate and I'm going to put the bugs on the top. So when I did these on the back, it was kind of tricky because I just laid them on there and then I used some packaging tape over it. And it was quite tricky because it's like staticky. So you can see I have a line here for the tape, but when you put it on a sheet of background paper, you don't see it. So it would look something like this. Sorry for the glare. So I want to do this again. I want to show you, and all I did was I used a die and just a circle die. I think this is the smaller one, but I used a little bit larger one and made the holes. And then I have my piece of acetate here, so I'm just going to glue this to the back. Okay, and then I have the bugs. So this time I want to put them on the outside. So I'm just going to glue them right into the center part. And then this will be another pocket. So we have a pocket for the right and a pocket for the left. Okay, I have a couple more things I want to show you. So these are hidden paper clips that Carolyn has created. So I'm going to show you how to put these together. They're pretty simple to do. So this particular one that's longer, you're going to fold it on the lines and then burnish it down. And then I'm just going to grab a couple of paper clips here. So burnish that down, and I've already inked everything. And then we're going to fold it right here. And where you see these paper clips, that's where you're going to put the actual paper clip. So we're going to fold that. Now on this piece, the only thing you want to glue down is this flap down here. Add a little bit of ink right there. I tried to make sure I inked everything, but sometimes you have a little bit peeking out. So let's close it up. Like that. And then we're going to put the paper clip on like that. So let's go ahead and do this one the same way. fold it, add a little bit of ink, and then again fold it. And you'll notice that one side is shorter than the other. And that's so it's covered at the bottom because this side is completely covered. You won't see any of the white peeking through. Just give it a little ink. And then we're going to glue this bottom piece again. Like that. And add our paper clip. Oops, let me press this down a little bit more. Okay. So now and you can use smaller paper clips as well. So once you have that done, now you've got these top pieces that will go over the paper clip. So I am going to mix them up. So I'm going to put music over here. I'm going to put the butterfly over here. So we're just going to fold these. And again, they are not completely in half. And we'll ink this. We'll do the same thing on this one. Carolyn gives you perfect lines to follow. And if you have a little bit of white peeking out, you can just ink underneath here, and then you won't see it. Just like that. Okay, so the longer side is going to go on the longer side and the shorter on the shorter side. And you're going to flip it, put it right over the top like this. And then this ends up going on your page like that. Okay, so I like to use my Fabrifix for gluing down this top piece over the paper clip. So it seems to adhere a little bit better than the art glitter glue. So I'm just going to put glue all over this and put it right over and center it right over the paper clip. And then give it a good press. Both sides. Just make sure that that's down over the paper clip. Try to get it as straight as you can. Okay. Then on the long side, there's pockets. So I have a couple of pockets. Trying to decide which side I want the pocket on. Now Carolyn has instructions for this, and so it looks like this. So the back is the longer side, so the pocket would go on the shorter side. So we can decide if we want it here. And you can also, if you wanted to, you could also add a pocket on the back side too, but this is the way these are set up. So I'm trying to decide. I think I want the contrast. So let's add this pocket to this paper clip. And I'm going to decorate it anyway, so you'll get to see other things on top. And you can decorate the back side as well. Okay, so we've gotten that far. So let's go ahead and do this one and get it glued down to the top of the bottom piece. So adding the glue again. If you don't have Fabrifix, just whatever strong glue you might have. It just found that the art glitter glue, it just took a lot more of it, so I found that this works better. But again, use whatever you have. Maybe even a PVA glue would be great. Okay, so get that pressed down on both sides. Really good. Okay, so let's add our pocket. Ooh, I like that. I like the contrast. So let's do that. And then when I do the flip through, you'll see where I have these. So I have also some cards. So this one says, may your days be bright with the blooms of his promises and your heart light with joy, with the joy of his presence. And then this one says, may the gardener of your soul tend thee well, bringing forth fruit in the season and beauty in due time. And this one says, in the garden of life, he meets us, tending to our hearts. I think I want to put this on the back. I want something good to look at on the back as well. Now you could turn this into a pocket if you want to. I'm not going to, or a tuck spot. I'm just going to glue it down. I love this butterfly on here. I hate to cover it up, but I have another butterfly here that I could add right there. So still get the beauty. And then it's got a beautiful bee on here too. So there's the back. And then on this side, I want to add one of these. I think I'll add two. And then on the other one, I also have this tag. Now it comes with, I think I use the other tag someplace else. So whatever you want to do. I'll put that in there. I'm going to put this in here. And then I have a few more butterflies and other bugs and birds. Let's see. Ooh, I like him. I haven't inked this one, so let's go ahead and ink him up a little bit and put him down on the front. Now I've already created the journal off camera. But I will link, it's a rounded spine journal. I will link the video where I show you how to do it, the rounded spine, in the description box. Okay, ooh, that pocket is a little bit crooked. Let's see if I could straighten that up. There, it's better. Re-glue that down. A lot straighter than it was. Okay. And I have this butterfly that I'm going to go ahead and put here. And the wings can still pop up on these. And on the back, I was thinking of this. So let's add this guy. Try to use up all the ephemera as much as I can, especially all the little fussy cuts. But then I also have little containers with all kinds of Carolyn's butterflies in them from all the leftover projects by color, and so I can grab anything I need from there. So if there's any left over here, I will put it with those. Okay, so here's our two hidden paper clips. So they go onto the page, they go onto the page like this. So you got something pretty to look at on both sides. Aren't they amazing? Okay, so the other thing I want to do with you, there's two more things I want to do with you, and then I'll do the final flip through when I have finished putting everything in. So I have this pocket. So we already did the window pockets with the acetate and the circles. So I thought I would do a layered belly band here. So just lay these out the way I want them. And it's okay if it peeks over the top a little bit. As I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and add a little drop of glue to hold it in place. And then we'll do final gluing after. Get it situated. So I want to tuck him underneath there, like that. And let's see, let's add this little beetle. These are fun to do, to use some of your fussy cuts that you have. Let's add the snail, I think. Let's tuck him underneath there. And then you can tuck in anything. Now, if you're giving this as like a gift to somebody, Carolyn also has a freebie from, I'm not sure if it was a year ago or a couple years ago, and it's from the bookmaker. So that would be something that you could tuck in under here is the letter from the bookmaker. Find that on her Ko-fi. Or just, yeah, anything that you want to tuck in here. I think I want him to peek out like that. Hopefully I have enough pieces ready. I don't have to add any more. Just want to make sure it's not cocky wobble. And then we'll add the B at the bottom. All right. Now I'm just going to glue the top right up here. I'm going to get those antennae and the bottom of the B and get those legs. And then we will just place this on our side pocket. And you'll see where I put it during the flip through. Okay, so now we've got something we can tuck in under there. So that's finished. The last thing I want to do is let me show you the journal so far. So I got this beautiful fabric when my husband and I were camping down in a place near Escondido called Valley Center, and they have a quilting shop. And so I got this beautiful fabric there that I wanted to use. And so I have done the rounded spine, and again I will link that video below where I showed you how to do it. So on the front of this I have one of Carolyn's gorgeous frames that just came out, and I want to put this here. But before I do that, I have a couple of sentiments here. Let's see. In the stillness you are near, a friend who stays at 2 a.m. So I'm going to put that underneath this. Just kind of get my bearings as to where my oval is going to be on the front, the frame. So bear with me as I get this on and make sure it's straight. It doesn't look straight. Okay, that looks better. In the stillness, you are near. Okay. I'm not making this a pocket. I just want this to be a peek through. You are near. So let's see how we're doing. And then let's do a friend who stays at 2 a.m. And that's our God. He does. Times of need, things that we're going through, troubles we may be having, or just quiet time. He's always there for us. I'm thankful for that. Okay. So now we have that. I think it looks pretty straight. Okay, and then I want to glue this right down on top. So I'm going to put glue all the way around the frame. I'm just being careful not to get too close to the opening so it doesn't squish into the acetate part. But I do want it to be down. Okay, so that's centered. My main concern is having it centered. It's okay if it's a little higher on the top of my cover because I'm adding some decoration anyway. Okay, so we have that, and then I have these little bird, butterfly, and bee, and I have also some coffee dyed cheesecloth. So I want to put these on here. Try to figure out the best place. I still have to figure out my closure. I don't know why I always wait till the last minute on my closure, but yeah, I do. I can't help it. It's probably just going to be some curly ribbon, but I'm not really sure. I think I want to move this here, and then I want to put this here. What do you think? Try to get the glare out of your way. I like that. I am going to use my Fabrifix. And I don't want them completely flat down, in other words. So I want to add the glue underneath and then also under the bug or the bird. The bird I will put completely down. So about like that. Okay, I think I'm liking that. Now I may add some beads. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to add some flowers on here, but I'm not really sure at this point. But I did want to do these last pieces with you. So what I'm going to do now is do some finishing up decorating, add in all my pockets, add my paper clips, hidden paper clips. Oh, I made this also on one of the tags. I decorated this like this. I use that, it's a leftover pocket that you could have used on the hidden paper clips, and I decided to put it here. And I don't have anything inside yet, but actually I have this. It doesn't have a sentiment on it, but I may put one on. We'll see. But let's just ink it and tuck it into the pocket for now, like that. Okay, I'm going to do some decorating, and then I'm going to come back to you, and we're going to do a final flip through. Okay, guys, she's finished. I love her. She's beautiful. The kit just is absolutely gorgeous. So let's do a flip through. So on the front, we did do the frame together. I added some additional flowers onto the front here. I also added some beads. And on the spine, I added some of the butterflies and joy in small things. And underneath the acetate frame, it says, "In the stillness you are near, a friend who stays at 2 a.m. I thought it was perfect for this journal. I've also added a couple of eyelets. This is the fabric I used. When I created the journal, I used some muslin for a rounded spine here. This fabric is just gorgeous for this kit. So I added a curly ribbon tie here. So I'll just quickly flip through this so you can see all the pages. So the first page of a couple of the signatures I did do on vellum. I think it just really adds something to it. I add some of my own coffee dyed paper that I do get off of Etsy. Here we have a pocket here. I just tucked in this card. It says, "Heavenly Father, meet me here in the quiet garden of my life. Tend the soil of my heart. Pull the weeds of worry. Water my spirit with your love and grace. Let my faith grow strong, rooted in you. Amen." So I tucked that in here. These are some of the pockets that we did together with the acetate and circle. Here's some of the gorgeous papers. Here I just did this other pocket window, and then I also created this tag with a pocket on the front and added this dangle. It says "Quiet Moments." There's lots of room for writing in here. This says, "Where do you feel God's presence most clearly in the quiet spaces of your life?" Look at that gorgeous bird. I added lace on one side of the center pages of each of the signatures. Here's one of the hidden paper clips that we did together. So we've got this on this side and a beautiful dragonfly on the other side. Here's one of the specimen card pockets. And then I have just tucked in some coffee dyed colored marble paper that I also get from Etsy. And I just thought it would be fun to add that in here for additional writing. Gorgeous music, more writing space here. And then this is the back half of the vellum paper. Isn't that gorgeous? That butterfly is so beautiful. Here's our second signature. And here I added, this is like a file folder flip. I created it into a pocket on each side. Also created a pocket here, added this on the front here. This says, may the Lord walk with you through every garden path in seasons of blooming and seasons of waiting. May his love root in you in hope, his peace surround you, and his grace cause your life to flourish in him. Amen. So I added a couple of fussy cuts. And on this side, I added a bee that I added a couple buttons to. And it says, you meet me in the garden of sorrow. And then here I added another card. Here's some good writing space. What does the garden of life look like for you in this season? Peaceful, overgrown, blooming, barren. And you got some writing space here. This is another one of the coffee dyed doily papers that I have in my stash. And over here it says, even when the garden feels bare, may you trust the master gardener. His love brings life from every season, beauty from every sorrow, and joy in due time. Another gorgeous music page. Look at this. Center spread. Again, I added some lace. Another pocket here with another card inside. May your heart find rest and renewal as you meet with the Lord in the garden of life. May each page be a place of reflection, healing, and hope, and may your soul bloom with his love and grace, happy creating, and God bless you. And I had also added silent prayers, faithful God. Another gorgeous paper. This is another colored coffee dye paper that I also get from Etsy. I thought was perfect to add in here. And then here's another, the specimen card pocket that we did together. And here I added a piece of doily paper, but even if you take it out, you don't want to use it in here, you've got these beautiful windows. And these are the ones we put on the outside where the other ones are on the inside. Here's the next page that's on vellum. And another one of these beautiful coffee dyed, I think it's like a doily that they probably used to create it. Coloring is just perfect in here. Another gorgeous butterfly with some script, beautiful flowers. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Still got lots of writing space in here. More writing here, and then I created a little notebook out of this one and added some papers. It says Quiet Garden. Tuck that in. Grace for each day. More writing space here. And then this is a envelope pocket. And then I added one of the bugs that I also added some flat back pearls on in gold. Another page. The back of that other paper, and here's the back of the vellum. I think it went well on this paper. And then this one, here is the belly band that we did. So you can tuck something else under here as well. I just tucked this in here. I thought the colors went well. More writing space. This is another coffee dyed colored paper I get from Etsy. Here is the second hidden paper clip. So now you see how both sides look amazing. And over here is another one of the window pockets. And then on this tag, this is a little pocket here. And then I made this little envelope comes out of the kit. And I just closed it up and put it on the front with a butterfly. And it tucks in here. The joy of his nearness and faith in bloom. More paper, more writing space, another pocket, my midnight prayers, and this one's done the same as the other one. And this is also a pocket, or a pocket with a tag in it, excuse me. So be careful with my little birdie's tail. Kind of a tight fit in here, so I have to be careful. Okay. And then this is the back. And then I used one of the backing papers for the inside. Here I just tied a knot so that I have the closure on the front and the back. And then here is an envelope that I used a magnet. And I put all the rest of the fussy cuts in here. So here is the back and the spine. And this is my project using a beautiful kit from Carolyn Musings. And I hope you guys enjoy this. And I will link the kits below for you if you want to take a look at them. And hopefully give this a try. I will also link the video where I show you how to do the rounded spine. Okay, guys, have a great day. God bless you all, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye.